name is Claire. Well, today I'm going to be talking with our friend here, Tammy. Hello, everybody. It's a long time I haven't met you before. I'm Tammy there. Can you still remember me? Well, today we're going to be talking about how to get organized and create a workspace or study space that works best for you. Well, let's get started. First, our workspace usually will be a desk with some tables, a desk with, or maybe a table with some chairs around, but we need to find the perfectly kind of desk that the best is organized for you. First, it's not necessary, but if you can find one, choose the one that have the L shape. They have the shape kind of like at the corners, because they can display clears or dominant hand signs. It can have two spaces. Maybe this space is ready to work, this space is for study. It have two spaces, as it nearly was. A little bit curve-free zones. It needs to have more free zones. You can't just choose a table that is small for you. When you're choosing the table, it's not that okay. Oh, this looks so beautiful. I'm gonna buy it without thinking. Okay, if this was expensive, if this was the kind of thing I need, if it was big enough, don't choose the one that's just small or enough. Choose the one that's bigger than you. Everything would be fine if you buy a bigger one. It doesn't affect to the working place. It just helps you to have more space working, and usually choose the one that have the top ons at the shelves, because you can put in more books for you and it will be easier to find. And you wouldn't have to buy another bookshelves if you just have those small things. Okay? Next, sufficient space for. Remember, if you just getting organized on your table, find a table that's just enough for you to put in your telephone. Maybe there was a less amount of people using telephones now. Well, people use computers or maybe something else that was really necessary for you. Or maybe if I'm studying, you would need to have a space of a laptop, maybe sometimes also a phone. Some really big books. Maybe if we're having some dictionaries, we can put them on. Well, first needs to look at the things that you want to put in your table, in your workspace, so you can choose the best desk. And remember, it is optional. Extra tables for materials that is frequently accessed. Okay? Well, next, look at it in a visuals way. What does visuals looking means? Visuals looking means looking something when it's truth. We're not imaginary. We're looking at the truth. Well, let's see here. Okay? Well, look, informed and inspired. Well, first remember, this place needs reminders. Maybe you need a board, a small board, to pin up your board. Maybe pin up your notes, or maybe your to-do list. Or maybe you also need a calendars. Remember, those calendars needs to be big enough for you to look at the letters on it, and big enough for you to tick all those ticks on each day. Don't choose the small ones. Okay? Next, for help. It needs to have some plants around. It needs to have more living things around it, because it will be really boring. It also doesn't help our health really much for people who just sit in the workspace for the whole day. They can't get enough fresh air. They also need to have a place for brainstormings, like a whiteboard. Many people buy a whiteboard in front of the desk because they can write in the ideas that I understand. Maybe if there's something important, they don't need the board to pen up, but they can just write in. Yes, that's right. Next, minimize distractions. Remember, get organized. Don't get too much distractions. Minimize it. Don't get too much distractions or you can't focus on your working or your learning. Well, the best way to avoid this is close the doors. Close the door. Close the door right away if you can. Maybe in your room it doesn't have a door. Maybe it's just outside there. It is not in a room. You don't have a door then, okay? But you have many more ways, like wear headphones. But don't put on the music or maybe use earpods. Put it in so you wouldn't hear others talking. Put your earspot or maybe a piece of paper. Put it into a circle, shape like this, and then put inside, or maybe just use your hand for testing like this. Put in. Now, can you hear me talking? Yeah, it was a really low sound. Maybe you all can hear it, but some people cannot hear it. Some people can hear it for just a little bit, but nearly. Many people just hear for a little bit, or they can't hear anything. Yeah, well, that's just unusual things. Next, remove all clutters. Have a good lighting. Choose the light that have the good lighting for your studies. Don't choose the ones that are too dark or too light. Choose the ones that have many modes of light. Like this light was a little bit better. Maybe the world was a little bit dark now. You can't have a really large lightings because that would really burn your eyes and really hurt your eyes. You need to choose the lights that usually would have a lot of light modes. Yes, you can have more choices in just one light. And have a comfortable room temperatures. If your room is too hot, you can't study. Well, you need the room around you to have the best temperatures. It can't be too hot or too cold. Okay? Well, next, assign a home for everything. Put everything that you need in your daily lives in front of you. Put the things that is really rare for you to use in those small corners or in those closets. Okay, remember, usually would have those flies, those books, those pencils. Maybe you would need a drawers on your desk to put in some of the supplies you best use, and books on bookshelves. If you have a bookshelf, then just like this. Maybe I have a book here. I'm gonna say that this was a comic book. I'm gonna put it in the comic site. So that in the next time I find, okay, I know if it's comic. If I put in my study book inside, oh my, this was not a study book. Well, when I find the study box, I can't find it. Well, fine, and put that in their own corners. This corner is for comics book. This corner is for books at school that you learn. And this corner is for the books that you use to learn about science. This one is to read stories about life. Yeah, if you have different kinds of books, then organize them in different corners. Even organize them more separately if your bookshelves have many corners. Okay? Next, the clue trains. Okay, so do 10 minutes each day, and every 3 months do a meditative spring clean. Do a spring clean every month. Clean your table every month. Maybe you see it. Oh, this pen should change one day. I should change it. I should organize this one more day, so that in the next day I can find out that it was a more comfortable place with not just one sign to look at. Next, what to do with papers? Do you really need to print this out? Ask yourself, do you really need to print it out, or I can just look at it on the laptop? It was something that was really important, like me. Your parents do works, and they have special signatures or special works. They usually would need to print. But me, if you're just reading something, Just read it on the laptop if you have time. And if you even have to fly on it, read on the laptop. That will save those papers a lot more. And pin it. Someday it might be a flaws. And remember, if in your place there's a recycling store, I mean a recycling trash, you can put those papers in their own trash, in their own bin. Then after maybe from 1 to 2 months, you should take that bin and then go to the recycling place where you put all of those papers in. But one day those paper can be recycled again. And that's when we can use those papers again without even destroying them or burn them. Yeah, it's much better than just throw it away. Next, surface and storage space. Remember, in your maybe there's thousands of office supplies. For me, office supplies has never been enough. I buy lots of things. I have a lot of pens, erasers, notebooks, and yeah, I have a lot of them. And I have even 3 pencil cases. I don't know what I used for too much, but my office supplies was just kind of like a whole pile. Well, in drawers, it is deadly out of sight. If you put the things in the drawers, put the things that is really for you to use in the bottom, and put the things that you use the most in the top. If your beds have more than just that drawers, you can put in other things. And every project has a flies. Put it in the current. Because every project has a fly, of course. Maybe a teacher taught our class to have a current as a fly of the drawing parts. Yeah, each drawing was put inside that current. Every project has its own fly. Next, bookshelves. You should buy yourself a bookshelf if you have really nice books or many books around. Well, my dad and my mom want to ask each other's, should we buy a bookshelf for me? Well, they have said the laws, and when hearing some of them, I heard my dad said, okay, maybe our house don't have that much books. We don't need to buy bookshelves. But my mom said, no, we need books a lot because books are better. Do you see those people that are lawyers? When they don't understand something, they get out this book. But my dad said, you can just search online with Google. But my mom said, no, you need to find out the thing that you really need to learn. Maybe in Google searching, they can't find their own answers to problems. Maybe it's in the books and say that, okay, leaf has many colors. But in Google, it says that leaves has just one color screen. It's really different. Well, she talked about bookshelves. And after that talking, she's the owner. And she is finding some of the bookshelves that is best suited for my home now. I think the bookshelves gonna be a really big thing in my house, and especially in my workplace. In the bookshelves, you should put in books. Of course, bookshelves is for putting in books, but not just books. You can put in folders or magazines or other things that print papers and flies in drawers or papers. You need to customize your workspace to get the best work. But not just, okay, my workplace was beautiful. I can just stay there and play and I will be a nice person who is really talented. No, you would need to practice a lot, to do that a lot, so that you would be much more smarter. It's not just the way that your workspace has been organized in a really beautiful place, but not studies. Well, that's it. I've shared you some of the ways that we need to look at first when we're getting organized a workspace. That's all for today. And if somebody really needs a workspace, remember, choose the one that best suits for you. And if your workspace is both for 2 children or 3 children, choose the one that have the L shape because it will have 2 parts for 2 kids to use. It wouldn't look and see, oh, is this my book? Oh, is that your book? Yes, right. So that's it. See you next time. Have a nice day.